Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? One thing I'm a little bit excited about is that I'm going to be voting for the first time on Tuesday in the runoffs. It's not as sexy as a presidential or, the first time around for the midterm. However, I'm still excited. So if you have not voted yet, it's Tuesday. And I'm really excited about doing it. So I encourage everybody to go ahead and participate. What I would like to talk about today is emotions are a tricky subject for some people because, especially in the personal development department, we are being trained, encouraged, and we're talking a lot about the positive emotions. And actually some research is coming out saying that, well, the negative emotions had their role to play as well. And the way I look at it is, emotions are like wine. I'm French, it's going to have to be wine. And they are all valid to experience as long as we are able to manage them and use them in a way that's productive. And here it goes. So imagine that you have a glass of wine with dinner. That's perfectly fine, right? I mean, you're enjoying yourself, and I know some people have a thing about drinking alcohol by yourself or in company. That's a whole different subject. But let's say you're just having a glass of wine with dinner. I can't really think of anyone that's going to frown upon that unless people think that alcohol is evil. Now, if you slam a bottle of wine by yourself and then hit the road with two kids in the back seat, now we have a problem. Emotions are the same way, in my opinion, is that we can experience a wide range of them, and it can be even the ones that we deem negative, like anger, jealousy, being irritated, what else? Being moody, being depressed, not medically depressed, but having that sense of intense sadness, not being able to get your butt out of bed in the morning. So that would be deemed the negative emotions compared to joy and enthusiasm, motivation. The thing is, the emotions are our friends regardless of what they are. They are our friends because they are telling us something about who we are. If we witness something and we experience anger, it tells us something about what's important to us. So in a few weeks, the friends that come to me and say, well, I didn't vote, but I don't like what's going on in politics right now, I may have an emotional reaction because this is what's important to me. What's important to me is to participate in something and to create something better together. That's important to me. That's a very huge value that I have. It's just me. It's just, but that trigger, that emotions will say something to me about me. It's not going to say something about somebody else. Emotions are indications. So whatever they are, that we label them positive or negative, they help us discover who we are. And that's great. That's like the glass of wine with dinner. However, if we feel sad and we start projecting our sad stories onto everybody that we meet, or if we're angry and we act out of anger towards people, then that's the slamming a bottle of wine and then driving with your two kids in the backseat version. The emotions are valid. How we manage them and how we project them or not onto people is the difference between self-discovery and counterproductive behavior. Does that make sense? So in my opinion, every emotion is valid. It's not that emotions are evil, because if we get into that stage of I'm going to be zen all the time, Susan David calls it, you have dead people's goals. I love that line. This is so true. It's like, I'm not going to be too angry. I'm not going to be outrageously happy because we don't want other people to think that, I'm that much happier than them. So if we get into that extreme of not being extreme, then we fall into dead people's goals, which I don't think it's productive because we are alive. In the positive realm, it's the same thing. If we're having a fantastic day, and then we're so overboiling with joy, and then we meet our friend who's having a really crappy day, we're not going to force our happiness onto that person. You know, ideally, if it's a friend, or even if we just have some sort of, you know, human connection happening, we're going to pay attention to their pain. We're going to make ourselves a little bit available to that to a certain extent, depending on the realm of relationship that you have to that person. But the same way we don't want to overdo the anger, the sadness, sometimes it's not always a good place to overdo our happiness. If you just came off of having a really fantastic date and then you meet your friend that just got a divorce, maybe you don't want to just, you know, share that much. So it's not the emotions, it's how we manage them, it is how we project them. So I invite you to take that in consideration and just play with it. If you find yourself being angry, just ask yourself, why am I angry? If you find yourself being happy, ask yourself, why am I happy? You know, why am I experiencing joy? Why am I experiencing frustration? You can't lose. You can't lose. You're just going to find something out about you. This is going to be so much fun. So if you want to play that game with me, please send me a note because I'd love to hear about you. Also, if you want me to check into something for you, if you want me to address something, if you want me to do some research about something, I'm more than happy to do it because this is my jam. This is what I do every day and I love it. So I'll be happy to do that. And until next week, reach for the greatest version of yourself. You can do it. Bye-bye.